Hey everyone! So today I'm going to show you how to set up CSR, how to process instruments and package them, and then how to break down CSR at the end of the day. So to start with, to set it up, you will need your proper PPE. So I have my gown, we will need my eyewear, and a mask. We'll put my mask down so you can hear me. We do not need gloves because everything is presumed sterile. So I have my clean side, and then over here I have my dirty side. So first what we will do is I'm going to have a double sink here, and the one to the right we're going to fill up halfway with warm tap water, and then we're going to use the Enzymax. We're going to do 3 full pumps, 1, 2, 3. And that will be 3 ounces. And that'll be 3 ounces. And then we will come over here and fill up our ultrasonic. So first I'm going to plug it in and then make sure the drain is vertical for the knob so that it doesn't drain out. And then we're going to fill this up with warm tap water as well to the fill line. And then we are going to do 4 pumps of Enzymax. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be 4 ounces. And then we are going to put the lid on and run it for 5 minutes. That's degassing it. And then from there, I'm going to come to my triple sink. And I'm just going to turn you just a little bit so you can see. I'm come to my triple sink. And in this station, we're going to have our distilled water. So I will fill it up with distilled water. And then in our third sink, we're going to have a drying rack that I'm going to put in there. And then we will put down a tray and a towel on the side of the sink for a drying station. And then I'm going to have my wrapping station, which will consist of autoclavable tape, gauze, different size pouches, our blue sterilization wrapping tape, a Sharpie for labeling, and chemical strip indicators. Okay. So now that we've got everything set up, I'm going to show you how to process instruments. So I am going to just move you over here so you can see me a little better while I start the process of instruments. Okay. Yeah, you can see good there. So a little different with PPE. I'm going to wash my hands again and then put on nitrile gloves. Just pretend these are nitrile gloves. I know they're exam gloves. So I'm going to put these on. And then I will also still have on my gown, eyewear, and gloves. All right, so then from there, we will grab our contaminated instruments. They will be in a carrying case with a lid, and it will be labeled biohazard, so you know that they are contaminated. And in this container will be our instruments. So I have a cassette, and then what we will do with the cassette is make sure nothing is protruding and that it's closed good. And then we will put it just straight in the holding solution. Then we will have some loose items in here, as well as possibly a high speed. So with our high speed, slow speed, our Cavitron tips, we will not put in the holding solution. So we're going to do these a little differently. So we are going to discard wipe to disinfect. So we would wipe it clean, and then we would discard that one, get another wipe, and then wipe again. And then now that is presumed clean. So we will take it over to the wrapping station and leave it there for when it becomes wrapping time. Okay, So I'm gonna discard this. And then from there would be our loose items. So we would need a basket to hold them in. So from there, we have loose instruments that can be sets. So we would rubber band those together so they don't get separated in the solution. And then they would go straight in the basket so they don't get lost in the holding solution. You don't have to dig. X-ray blocks, same, go in the basket. Any other loose items would just go straight in the basket. Straight in the basket. And then for our Profi jets, we would need to scrub them and then put them in the holding solution. But you would also hold them in this solution while you're scrubbing them, because you don't want to scrub it all in your face. So we would just scrub them down here. And then we would put that in the basket as well so it doesn't get lost in the holding solution. And then for your burrs, we would need a strainer to hold them. Just because they're itty bitty, they will get lost. So we'll put them in our strainer. The strainer will have a lid, and then our strainer will also go in the basket. Once again, so it doesn't get lost in the holding solution. So we'll put that all in there. And then we'll put our biohazard container away. And then from here, we'll let that soak for 3 minutes. And then we will rinse. I'll turn you just a little bit. And then we will rinse in our tap water and then put in the ultrasonic. Now the ultrasonic, we need to make sure our basket is upright so that nothing, tips over into the ultrasonic. We have to dig for things. And then for our cassettes, same thing, rinse with warm tap water, and then we would sit them up vertically, and that's so everything gets sterilized properly. So those would go in there vertically. We close the lid and process that for 15 minutes. So while that processes, I'm just going to move you so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Yep. So then 15 minutes has gone by. We're going to take them out of the ultrasonic. We're just going to take everything with the basket. We're going to rinse it with tap water. And then we're going to rinse it with distilled to get the tap water off of it. And then we'll put it on our drying rack. Let that drip dry. Same thing with the cassette. We're going to rinse and then rinse with distilled. We'll do a flip-flop. Put this in the drying rack and this here. So from here, you can kind of take everything out of your basket, and then I'm going to put that in the sink because we're going to wash that in a minute. And then same thing with your cassette, we can put that here. So we still have our high speed over here that we will put into a pouch. So in that pouch, sorry, my dog's a barker. We're going to put a chemical strip as well. And that is so that we know that it's been sterilized properly. And then we will fold it, and I'll come back and label those. So same thing with these. These are a little bigger, so I'll put these in a large pouch, just so they sterilize properly. And I would also put a chemical strip in there, but I don't want to waste my Post-its, so each one of these will get a chemical strip. Same thing with your sets. You take the rubber band off. And I'm going to put that in the sink because we'll wash that in a minute. Put your sets together. And then items that have hinges, we want to leave those open so they get sterilized properly. Once again, we would be putting chemical strip indicators in all of these. Right. And then for your burrs, we would take it out of the strainer and put them with their appropriate instrument. But for now, I'm just going to put them in by themselves. So there we go. And then this will also put away because because that will need to be washed and disinfected and put away as well. And then same for these guys. They're gonna go in a baggie with an indicator strip. There we go. And then for our cassettes, we still want to make sure nothing's protruding and they're closed well and everything's dried accordingly. These we're going to wrap. So we will put 3 gauzes so that we'll have some sterile gauzes to use, and then a strip indicator to indicate everything is clean. Normally there's little holes where we could stick this in there, but I don't have holes in mine, so I'm just going to put it on top for now. And then we'll wrap. So when you're wrapping, it's best to do it tight, but not too tight, so we're not poking anything through. And it's also important to wrap to where you'll only need to use 1 piece of tape, 2 at most. You don't want to go crazy and over wrap because it'll take time to undo it later on, and also it's just wasteful. So this strip here is also a chemical indicator strip or tape, and it will have black stripes on it to show that it's been sterilized. So from here, I would take a second to wash and disinfect the instruments that we use to clean them with. So these guys, I would wash them, wipe, discard, wipe, and then put them away. And then from there, I'm going to move you so okay. All right. So from here, we have my mid-mark and tutonator, or Mr. T. So these guys still need to be labeled. So our labeling will consist of, so for cassettes we're going to do on the side here, it's going to consist of who owns it. So either the student or CCCC. So we'll put, if it's a student, we'll put their initial for their first name and then their full last name. We'll put our initials in lowercase letter to say who prepared it. We'll also put a 1 or 2 for which year you are. So dental hygiene 1 or dental hygiene 2. We'll put a 1 and circle it. And then we'll also put the date in which it was processed. And then in the middle, we'll put what machine we're going to put it in. So I'm going to put a T for Mr. T, because that's where our cassettes go. And then for our pouches, we would do the same labeling, but on the plastic side and not the paper side. And then we'll do a different machine. So we're going to do X, Y, or Z for the mid-mark. So we would put an X, because that's going to be Mr. X. So from there, the doors should already be open for you, so that they can stay clean. So our cassettes are going to go in Mr. T, so they will also go in vertically so that they get sterilized, and you do not want to overload or stack them on top of each other. And same thing with the pouches. I wouldn't just put them all in here like this on top of each other. They need to be separated and not piled on top of each other. And then usually you'd have a couple of racks, so I could put these on the top rack just to have a nice spaced out area. We're going to leave them open because I don't want to close them with my dirty hands. Sorry, normally I'd be covered with my dirty hands. So now I will go clean my nitrile gloves. So I will wash them just like I would wash my hands, and then I would wipe, discard, and wipe, and then put them away. So we will go and do that. So wash, wash, wash. Then we're going to wipe, discard, wipe. And then I can now take them off and put them away. And then when I'm done with that, I will wash my hands again. wash, 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 wash. And then now it is okay for me to close and start the process for both of those. Now that will run, so about 20-30 minutes depending on the machine. So we can go ahead and start closing down CSR. So that is a little different. Let me move you over here. So I will wash my hands and put on regular exam gloves. We'll still have our gown, mask, and eyewear on. So from here, we are going to drain everything. We're going to drain our holding solution, our ultrasonic, and our distilled water. So we're going to drain my holding solution. We're going to drain my ultrasonic, and we're going to drain the distilled water. And then from there, we're going to rinse the ultrasonic out, and then we are going to wipe, discard, and wipe. So wipe everything, the lid, discard, and then we're going to wipe again with a new wipe. We're just going to pretend I got a new wipe. And then the lid, we're going to put up here sideways. We're going to unplug it. We're done with that guy for the day. And then I'm going to dispose of this. And then from there, we're going to move over to the drying station and clean everything. So my towel will go to the laundry bin. And then we would get another wipe. And we would wipe, discard, and get another wipe, and wipe. And then after we have disinfected them properly, we can put both of them away now. So for now, I'm just going to stick them right here. We'll put them both away. And then I would get another fresh wipe. And then we're going to wipe everything down. So we're going to wipe the countertops. We're going to wipe any handles. And then we're going to wipe the sink down. And then we would also wipe down the sterilizers. So this machinery, make sure it's all clean. Even though it's presumed clean, we still would just wipe it down just to be safe. And then we would discard that and redo it all over again with a fresh wipe. And then before I take my gloves off, I need to make sure that all of our treated water is filled for the next day. So distilled and our treated water for our operatories. And then after that, I can take my PPE off and wash my hands. And then I would do a little housekeeping, weed sweep, and then I would make sure that everything is off. So I would wash my hands, wash. We would sweep, clean up. I would make sure the mid-mark and this is off, and then everything is put away in here. Now this is all presumed clean, so I don't need gloves to do any of that. So I would put all that away, and then just kind of leave these guys open for the night. Turn all those off, and then we would turn our master vacuum and air switch off as well, and then we're all done.